Whoa, did you hear that ghost? It's going around throwing erasers in my classroom. Whoa, there it is! Oh, man, direct hit. Thanks for watching. Here we go. Let's see here. We fix that. Yeah, that ghost got you. Okay, here we go. So we're finishing off on a 3.3 right now. So it's x cubed less than 8x squared. And so we want to get everything to the other side. So we're going to minus 8x squared over to this side like that. So now we have x cubed minus 8x squared less than 0. Good. Then we can pull an x squared out. So pull out an x squared and pull out the GCF. See what we have for our zeros. So x cubed divided by x squared is just an x minus, and then x squared divided by x squared is just, it goes away, so we just have an 8. And both of those need to be less than 0. Inequalities now. Inequalities. So then we go ahead and find the x-intercepts to graph it. So we have x squared, set it equal to 0. We have x minus 8, set it equal to 0. So then we square root both sides, and we get x equals 0 as one of our x-intercepts. We add 8 to both sides, so we get x equals positive 8 as one of our x-intercepts. Are any of them bouncing, or are they all crossing through? What do you think? Pause me, try it on your own. Pause me. So the squared means bounce. So x equals 0 is going to be bouncing. And then x equals 8 has a first power invisible. And so that means to cross through. So we're going to go ahead and draw our number line. Right? We're going to look at our end behavior. Let's see here. There we go. Look at our number line. Look at our end behavior. And so our end behavior comes from the highest power term, and if it's positive or negative. And so it's a positive x to the odd power. So that means it's going to be down and then up, like that. And we have x-intercepts at 0, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Way-o. So that arrow is going to be more over there. And this arrow is going to be more down here, I guess. And so we have x-intercept at 0 and 8. So that means, again, end behavior is positive and on, so opposite directions. Finishes off positive. Good, positive. So then we're going to go ahead and bounce at 0. Bong. And then we're going to cross through at x equals 8. And so now we look at the inequality and see, right? That's ugly and evil. And see what it's looking for. Let's see here, see what it's looking for. We'll get there. We'll get there. No, stop. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, so then, what's our inequality say? So our inequality says less than 0, right? So what is less than 0? What are x values? What are x values less than 0? So the x values are all numbers that are less than 0. And so that's all negative numbers. Way-o. And so that's going to be all negative numbers. And so all negative numbers are like negative 10, negative 9, negative 8. Just all negative numbers. And so that's all numbers below the x-axis. So let's take a look at now all the numbers that are below the x-axis. Well, we have numbers here that are below the x-axis. And we also have numbers here that are below the x-axis. Now the tricky part is that it says less than and not less than or equal to. And since it says less than, that means we don't include the zeros. Don't include, open hole, don't include the zeros. Okay? So that just means we're going to be using parentheses. We're going to be using parentheses. Using parentheses for our notation. Using parentheses. Okay, so we're going to the left, negative infinity, as we go down, negative numbers. So we're going to go ahead from left to right. Okay, left to right. It's negative infinity till we get to 0. So negative infinity till we get to 0. Remember, it's parentheses. It's parentheses. And union with, where else do we have negative numbers? Well, we have below the x-axis here and here. So we also have from 0 to 8. Do we use a bracket with the 8 or a parentheses? Well, the problem is it's less than. So less than means no brackets. Don't include the x-intercepts. And so, yep, so it's just going to go now from 0 now. It's going to go from 0 to 8, but not include the 0. Not include, that's funny, those touched. So not include the 0 or the 8. And there's our answer. Let me double check. There's our answer. There's our answer. Whoa, we got it. So that's for number 17. So try 18 next. Try 18 next. So remember, at x equals -5, you're going to bounce. And then x equals +4, you're going to, 3 is odd, so it means cross through. And then it says less than or equal to 0. And so the equal to means we include the x-intercepts in our solutions. So that means brackets, that means brackets. That means brackets. Okay, let's see here, or maybe this way. If there's infinity, we'll see. Okay, so try number 18 on your own. Here's number 19. Okay, so we're going to go ahead with number 19 now. And we're going to go ahead and get our x-intercepts and graph this. So we have x equals 0 as our x-intercept with a multiplicity of 1. And so that multiplicity of a visible 1 means we're going to cross through. Then x minus 5, set it equal to 0, add 5 to the other side, so we get an equals +5. And it's got to bounce. Last but not least, we have x equals -2 with a bounce. So let's go ahead and graph those now. So again, we have a 0 where we're going to cross through. We have a -2 where we're going to bounce. And a +5 where we're also going to bounce. Now, what's our end behavior? Right? What's our end behavior? So the end behavior, you guys, the end behavior, so that's to do with the powers. So we have an x to the first power that we're going to multiply. We have a x squared that we're also going to multiply to get the end behavior, as well as an x, another x squared. And so what do? Add the powers. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. Is it negative in front? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Nope. So if it's not negative, we have to assume it's positive. So that's positive and odd. Do you remember the end behavior, positive and odd? What's the end behavior, positive and odd? What is it? So the end behavior, positive and odd, is down, then finish out positive. So down and then up. So we're going to start off down and finish off up. Whoa, don't forget your y-axis, new bulb. Don't forget your y-axis. This is your x-axis. Good. And then, are they open hold or close hold? Right? Well, because of the equal to, right, equal to 0, we set each of these, right? We took x minus 5 and we set it equal to 0. And then we added 5 and we set it equal to 0 and we got a positive, remember we got a +5. So these are the zeros. And where do they equal 0? At -2, 0, and 5. But because it says equal to, not just greater than, it says equal to, we are going to do an open hole. I mean a close hole. Sorry, close hole, because equal to is close hole. If there's no equal to, it'd be open hole. Parentheses. But because it's less greater than or equal to, close hole brackets. Okay, close hole and brackets. Because remember, greater than or equal to means brackets. It means brackets. Okay, so now let's go ahead and bounce and cross. So at -2, what does it say to do? We're going to bounce. So pause me. You try it on your own. What are you doing? Pause me. Try it on your own. Stop watching. Try it on your own. Then push play. See how you did. So we're going to bounce. At 0, we're going to cross through. That's the y-intercept. And then at 5, what are we going to do? We're going to bounce because of the even power. And then we're going to bounce. There we go. So now we need to know, are we looking for below the x-axis or above the x-axis? Right? Are we looking for negative numbers? Or are we looking for positive numbers? Which one are we looking for? We're looking for positive numbers or negative numbers, right? So it turns out with our graph here, it's going to be a what? It's going to be negative below, positive above. So are we more on the left or the right side to get our answers for our interval notation? Well, take a look. It's greater than equal to 0. And since it's greater than or equal to 0, x is greater than or equal to 0, so that's going to be all numbers that are positive. Right? Greater than 0 or equal to 0 means all positive numbers. So we're going to go ahead now and focus on just the positive numbers as well. Don't forget the x-intercepts because those work because it's equal to 0. Don't forget equal to 0. Okay, so that means we have -2 counts in our interval notation. Right? So -2 or -2 to 2, just that counts. And union with, and we have 0 next that counts. And so we're going from 0 to what? Well, where's it positive? Oh, it's positive right here above. So 0 to 5. 0 to 5 is what we're doing there. 0 to 5. And union with, and then we also have 5, and we're also doing positive because we're going upwards now. And so that's going to go ahead and be also from 5 upwards to positive infinity. Whoa, no brackets for the infinity, but yes for the 5. So then we get 5 to infinity. Woo! That's our answer, right? So we also have to include the 2, because that is also going to work. Because when you plug a 2 in, what do you get? Do you get equal to 0 when you plug a 2 in? Do you get equal to 0 when you plug a 2 in? Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Good. And then we have plug a 2 in. We get -3. And -3 squared is 9. And then we plug a -2 in. And so that's outside here. And interesting. So then when we plug a 2 in, oh, a -2, sorry. -2, sorry. That's this guy right here. That's this guy. So we get, that just becomes a 0, goes away. This is negative. Right? So that's -2 in. You plug a -2 in, that goes away. Oh, that just becomes a 0, huh? And so it doesn't matter what those two are, -7 and -2. Because when you multiply it with a 0, anything with a 0 is 0, and 0 equals 0, it works. 0 equals 0. So that's why we do have to include that in our answer. I'll fix it. I'll tell the other teacher to fix it. Okay, beautiful. So that's our correct answer for number 19. So you tried 20. You tried 20. Now it does say on there to try the calculator, which we could do. We could try our calculator if we want to. Where is it negative? Where is it positive? So we're going to do x squared plus 8x. We're going to add the 7 to the other side. And this one definitely needs maybe the, I mean, you have factors of 7, 1 and 7. It could work. So we have less than or equal to 0, because -7 to +7 is 0. Good. So then, for time's sake, I'm just going to hurry and do it really fast. So this is going to factor into x and 1 and 7, plus and plus. We have x equals a -1, and x equals a -7. Don't forget 0. And then there are multiplicities of 1, cross through, cross through. Again, behavior is squared. So that's going to be positive even. So that's up, up. So that's up, up. Good. So then, are we going to bounce anywhere? No, we're just going to cross through. So we're going to cross through and cross through. And so we have our equal to 0. So that means closed hole. We're going to be using brackets. And we want all numbers that are less than or equal to 0. And what are less than 0? Less than 0 are negative numbers, right? Negative numbers. And so that means negative numbers. So we're going to go just from -7, negative numbers, negative numbers, negative numbers, to 0. And that's our answer. Oh, not 0, new ball, no, oh. The other x-intercept was -1. I apologize, I was in a rush. Sorry. So -7 to -1 is our solution. There we go. Okay, last but not least, ACT prep. The equation has two solutions. Those solutions are equal to the solution which of the following pairs. Just finishing our last video there. So we're going to solve. We're going to -2 to the other side. So we get 2x minus 8 equals 3. We're going to drop the parentheses and separate it into two equations. 2x minus 8 equals 3, but also 2x minus 8 equals a -3. So absolute value, you have to separate it into two equations. You have to split it into two equations. The left side stays the same, but the right side, you go ahead and change the sign. So that's a +3, and then change the sign for those ones. So which one has 2x minus 8? So 2x minus 8, let's take a look. So if we change the signs on that one, no, that would change it completely. Oh yeah, so if we divide this negative to the other side, there we go. There we go. So get the negative to the other side, and there's our two change. Then you solve for x. That's how you do absolute value. Answer is E. All right, thanks for watching. Keep on trying your best. You got this. Happy Halloween. Fall break almost. Are we already there? Or you already passed it? I don't know. Whoa. Fall break. Bye for now.